I've been having some fun making these sort of novelty USB stick things. I did one with a guitar, and now I'm going to do one with an old book. Okay, and again, this is not my idea. I just searched for like novelty USBs, and I see a lot of these, and I decided I want to do one as well. All right, because I've made a closed book before, and I've made a USB stick before, so I'm just going to put them together, and we'll do this. So I've made a time lapse as well that you can watch, and that's posted here on YouTube. And now this is the spoken video. All right, so this is what we're going for, where you've got this sort of this old looking book. It's very simple, and part of it is got a little USB to it, so you can pull off the end here, and I've labeled USB just to make it really obvious. All right, you pull that off and you stick that into the computer. All right, so again, it's a beginnerish tutorial, and I don't know if it's much of a tutorial, more of a walkthrough. Okay, so here I am in Blender, and I'm in front view. I got my screencast keys on if you want to see what I'm doing. Okay, so we're going to start like this. Shift A. I'm going to add a circle. Rotate X 90 degrees. Go into edit mode and look at the vertices. I'm going to box select, and I'm going to delete all those vertices. So it's leaving essentially half of the circle. Okay, I'll select that, and I'll see that my origin for that is here. I mean, it was, you know, full circle, but now it's there. So I'm going to switch over to 3D cursor, and I'm going to go scale in the X. I'm going to pull in. That's going to flatten them out and pull them in. This is like the spine or the back of the book itself. All right. I'm going to hit E to extrude, and then scale, and I'm just going to pull. And that's going to pull some of these vertices vertically upwards in a line and downwards, and that's great. I'm also going to go scale in the X and go like this, so I get roughly an equal thickness. Okay, and now I'm going to Alt and click on this row of vertices. I'm going to hit F to make a face, and that'll put a solid piece right in between there. Deselect now, and now I'm going to go and box select. I'm going to grab all these vertices, but I don't want those ones. All right, E to extrude, and I'm going to pull this out. So I'm making the length of the book now. Okay, select it all, E to extrude, and I'm going to pull it out. Now you're going to see sort of a darker color here. That means the normals aren't facing the right way. So I'm going to hit A to select it all, or A to deselect and A to select it all. And then I'm going to go Control N, which will flip all of the polys to face outwards. And come back into object mode and have a look at my book as it's forming. It's a pretty funny looking book. So I'm going to go scale it in the Z downwards like that. It starts to look a little bit more like a book, but it's a bit too rounded here now. So I'm going to come back into edit mode. Now that I've got some thickness, I want to select this part, but because I've got that thickness, I'm going to use wireframe. Box select, and I'm going to grab all of those. All right, if I'm not in wireframe, just to show you here, if I'm in solid mode and I box select and I do that, I don't get those back vertices, and I do want them all. All right, so it's just the easiest way to do it is just to be in wireframe. Box select like that, and I'm going to go scale in the X, and I'm going to pull it in like that, because I've got my pivot point on the 3D cursor. I'm going to change that in a minute. Let's come out of wireframe and back into solid, and just have a look at that. I might scale it in Y a little bit, scale a bit more in the X, until I go, that looks like a cute little book. Now I'm going to go back into median point, and I'll set my origin to geometry, and there's my little book taking shape. So now I'm going to make the paper, which will essentially actually make the covers as well at the same time. So you'll see what I mean. Go in edit mode, flip over to face selection, and I'm going to select that piece, this one, and this. So I'm selecting essentially everything that would make up the paper. All right, I've got my origin in the middle, and now I'm going to hit E and accept, and then just press S and push up, scale in. All right, I'm not pulling it in any particular direction. I'm just doing that. Okay. Okay, so now I've got my cover and I've got my paper. So let's try rounding out these corners a bit. Let's do them, it's debatable if we should do them together, or let's try doing them together. So I'll select the vertical edge for the top and the bottom cover and the vertical edge of the paper. And the same over here. And let's go Control B and pull back. All right, a certain amount, good amount, you know, don't go crazy like that, Roll your mouse up, give yourself, you know, 3, 4, 5 segments, release, and come out and let's have a look at that. Okay, so it's looking nice so far. The next thing we're going to do, back in edit mode, is grab all of this. All right, so I'm alt clicking and shift alt clicking to add to that. Alt clicking and making sure that I've got my edge that goes around the curve we just did. Not that one. Okay, so that's the outer one, and let's do the inner one now. That's looking good. Oh, all the way around in one click. Oh, that's fantastic. Okay, move out just a little bit, and I'm going to bevel as well, and that's going to create a little bit of a roundness to this, to the outer and inner part of the upper cover and the bottom and the spine too. So Control B, pull back. I'm going to give it just 2 segments. I don't want it too thick, so right there. Click accept, deselect, object mode. There we go. Beautiful. So that's a really cute looking book already. So let's save this. Save as, I'm going to call this USB book video, because we're making a video. We are ready to cut this. 7 for top view. Let's just, before we do that, let's set the origin again. Let's also do an object apply scale. Okay, so object mode, edit mode, wireframe, because we want to select deeper down. Select the whole thing, and I'm going to use the bisect tool over here. All right, so hopefully your version of Blender has it, bisect, under the mesh tools. Click it, and while this is selected, I'm just going to click here and pull across. Doesn't matter if it's not straight. We're going to straighten that in a minute, but roughly straight. Okay, now this is selected all the way through. So to make sure that it is straight in the Y axis, I'm going to go scale Y0, accept, and it's done it. Okay, we'll come out of wireframe for a minute and you'll see. Okay, I've cut right through it. Back to top view, back to wireframe. Let's switch over to face. What is that? Face select mode. Face select mode. Box select, and I'm going to come down as close as I can to here, and it's going to get all that. I'm going to switch over to vertex. I like it that way. And now that I've got that, I want to cut this piece off. I mean, I made a cut through. I want this to become a separate object so that I can manipulate it. This is going to house the USB. All right, so I'm going to go P to make it its own selection, and enter or accept, and back into object mode, back into solid view, and this origin of geometry I can move. This is its own section as well. Now there's going to be a hole inside it because we just cut them apart, so let's fix that now. Just move this out of the way, and let's actually set the origin of geometry on that one as well. All right, let's go into this one. Okay, into edit mode, edge selection, and shift alt select that whole line. And it's nice when you get the whole thing in one. Press F to make a face. Okay, and that's it for that for the moment. Let's do the same on this guy. F to make a face. Save, save, save. Okay, cool. So we're ready to roll with making a USB that will fit on this small piece here. All right, and we can just detach it there. So let's go ahead and hide that piece. Focus just on this guy. I want my next object, which is going to be a cube, to be brought in right at this spot, nice and centered as well. So I'm going to select this face in edit mode, and I'm going to go Shift S, cursor to selected, I'll deselect and come out of edit mode, okay, back to the object mode, and I'm going to bring in a cube. So Shift A, mesh cube, and there it is. Now I'm going to scale in the Z, scale in the X, and this will take a little bit of manipulation to figure out how big this thing should be. I'll scale it in the Y. Okay, scale in the Z a little bit more. Does that look roughly like the right dimensions to make this? It doesn't matter that much, but before I go manipulating this any further, I'm going to go Object, Apply, Scale, and let's give this a little bit of roundness. So select these edges right there, Control B, pull back just a little bit, and I gave 2 segments there. Okay, that's going to round these out just a little bit. Instead of using the bevel tool, I'm doing it myself. Right? And I'm going to grab these edges right there all the way around. Control B, pull back. I'll do 2 again, just like that. Okay, now this USB, of course, is hollow inside. It's got a little circuit board, so we're going to dig into it now. So I'll use face selection. I'll choose that face, and I'm going to go E to extrude, and I'm going to pull this in. But since I can't see it, I'll go into wireframe mode, and I'll pull it down the rest of the way. Great. Let's have a look at our work. It's looking good. Now, there are holes that go through the top and the bottom of the USB. So I will select this face, Shift S, cursor to selected, and bring in an object at that point. And I'll bring in another cube. Scale it down. And I'm going to move it into position, which is sort of, I'll go to top view here. Closer to the top, and a little bit more rectangular than that. All right, something like that. Okay, scale it in the Z though, so that it stretches out long enough to pierce both edges, or both sides, the top and the bottom, so we can make a hole. Apply the scale to that. Let's zoom in on this guy. We're going to add some beveling to this as well. We're going to select these edges because this is going to cut through this piece. We're not going to bevel this piece. That's not going to matter. We're going to select these. Okay. Just a couple. That's it. That will bevel all the way down, create a little bit of roundness to our hole. And now I'll select this and set origin to geometry, and we'll go back to our object, and let's use the mirror modifier to get it exactly placed on the other side of the x-axis. Mirror in the x, but the x-axis of what? This, so we have to tell it. So we'll select this with the eyedropper just like that. Just have a look, make sure this is okay where we like it. Okay, and then hit apply once you're satisfied. Okay, now we're going to cut into this using a boolean. Just debating if I actually do like that position, and I actually want it a little further out. Okay, I want them spread out a bit, so that's fine. I just canceled it, and we're back ready to go. Okay, select the USB, choose boolean difference, and select your object. Okay, hide them, H to hide. Now the holes are right through, but I don't want them razor sharp. So go into edit mode, edge selection, and try to select just the outer edge. Oops. It's going well. We'll do the same thing on the underside of the USB. But I'm not going to bother to do the inner edge as well. I don't think that's necessary. So give yourself a decent vantage point for this. Control B, pull back, and give maybe, roll your mouse 1, maybe 2 segments, just like that. Deselect, come out, and have a look at it. Now they're nicely rounded. They catch some light. Okay, very good. Alt H. I'm going to hide the main body of the book again. And what am I doing with this? Oh yeah, okay. Pull these down, scale it in the Z. I know I've lost them, and I'm going to pull them up. I'm going to use these to create a little depression here, but I want to move them around a bit, scale in the X, and I don't mind if they're a slightly different shape, just a little bit more of of a design element maybe on the surface there. But I've changed their scale, so let's just do that. Now, by the way, did you notice a change in the polys? They got darker on top. Okay, so this is why I've done that. And now I'm going to select, A to select, Control N, make sure all the normals are facing out. So when I do my boolean, I'm not going to get an error. All right, let's go ahead and give it a try. Select the main body of the USB. Difference, select these as my cutting tools. Hit apply, select them and hide them. And all I've done is I've created an indentation. But I'm also going to bevel these. I suppose I could be hiding this. So back in edge selection mode, click near the edge, see if you can select it easily, hopefully. Yeah, it's going really well. Control B, pull back. 1, 2, maybe a little bit less thick. There we go. All right, and that will round out that depression. Okay, now, can I hide that? Yes, good, okay. Now inside is a little circuit board, but also this is made of metal and it's joined together and there's some kind of a weird zigzag pattern, so I think I'm gonna do that. So if this is top view 7, then Control 7 is bottom view, and it flips it like that. So this is great, this is exactly what I want. I'm gonna go into edit mode and I'm going to cut a design out of this so it looks like a piece of metal. It's as good as I can do it anyhow. And the way I figure to do that is to select an edge that is horizontal, that is very symmetrical and centered. All right, as you can see, like when I select it, the origin goes right to the center. That's where I want to start. And so what I'll do is I'm going to go into vertex mode, and I don't have a dot. I have a dot there and I have a dot there. I want a dot right there, so I'm just going to subdivide this. So I'm going to hit W, subdivide, and that actually puts a vertex right there where I need it. All right, so I'm going to start there using the knife tool. So I'm going to hit K for the knife tool, and it'll change colors. Okay, and it kind of snaps to it. So I'm going to click on it, and I'm going to pull down to about here, click. It's like I'm adding points. I'm drawing like a little square, and I'm coming back, and it's going to look horrible, but it doesn't matter. It's going to look better in a minute. I come down here and I'm going to draw another one, and now I'm just going to go all the way back to the end. Okay, that looks terrible, right? You hit spacebar and it's done. You go, what a mess. Well, I'm going to go back into edge select mode. I'm going to select all of my vertical pieces. Okay, just like that. And I am going, let me make sure I'm right. I'm going to, I want them not, like I mean, if this is the x-axis here, the red arrow, the x-axis, I want them all at x0. I don't want, there's x0, this is x minus 1, or whatever. So I'm going to go scale x0 and watch them. There, you see, they flip into line. So this is straight now. I'm going to do the same for this one, but that one is off a little bit, so I'm going to go sx0. And now I'm going to take actually all of them and go sx0. So they're all in line with each other. Now look at this one. Look how bad this is, right? That thing. I'll take that one, that one, that one, and that one. And they look terrible. I want all of these in line for the y-axis, because like this would be, let's say, y0. Okay, this is going to be y whatever. Actually, that's not going to be well explained. I want both of these points to be horizontally straight at y equals 0, and these at y equals 1, and these at y equals 2. So scale by 0, just do, oh no, I can't do that. I've got to just select the one of them, because what I just did was, if I select this one, and these are all, you know, because here, I'll change something here. Okay, if I pull this up here, okay, and I go, oh, I want to straighten this one. All right, and I also want to straighten this one, and I want to straighten this one too. If I go scale y0, they'll all get squished to y0. You have to do it with respect to 2 points, like this. Okay, scale y0, and it's straight. Scale y0, and of course I'm selecting the edge, which is really all the vertices that make up that edge, which is really just 2. But you could do it on 200 if you want. So see, this one is not quite. Here, I'll zoom in. Not quite horizontal, so I'll go scale y0. And it straightens it, and now, you know, it looks a lot better. Let me make sure that one's done. There, I don't know, maybe I missed that one. Now if I really cared, I could say, you know, this one seems longer or wider than this one. I mean, I could pull this down if I want. I can grab all of this and pull it all down, whatever. I'm just concerned about actually, yeah, where my other pieces come in and whether or not they'll cover it. So let's go back in. Okay, there's top view, there's underside. Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. Now that I've got that, I'm going to Alt select or Shift Alt select the entire line, and I don't want any other pieces. I want just this whole new line that I drew. Okay, so nothing else. And I'm going to use the bevel tool, and I'm going to add a small bevel. When I do that, it's going to add more edges. So watch this. I'm just going to go very gently. I'm going to go Control B, and I'm going to pull back. Okay, you see the way it's starting to split now into two? Pull back to maybe there. Roll my mouse up one, click to accept. Deselect. Now, let's zoom in and look at that. I now have, I don't know how well you can see this with the lighting, I have 3 lines there where I had 1. This is like the original line. All right, well, I want those other supporting edges there, because what I'm about to do, because I'm trying to create a seam in the metal, like 2 pieces. So I've cut it, I've added actually just the vertices, and now I'm going to create the seam. And what I'm going to do is I've selected the middle line, and I'm going to pull down like this. And because I've got those other edges, they will keep the polys up, so I can pull down. If I just had that one, it would pull everything down. But by having the other 2 on the outside that keep them there, I can make a little groove, a little valley or whatever. All right. So I've done that. I hadn't paid too much attention to how far I pulled it down. But now what I want to do is I want to select all of these lines on the outside, those new ones I made by beveling, and I'm shift selecting everything else. I don't want it involved. You're not involved. Did I just lose all that? I think I did. So okay, so just make sure I now have just the outer ones. I just want to bevel this a little bit because it's a little bit sharp. I'll try to bevel it. So I'm going to go Control B, pull back. Just want a little bit of distance like that. I'm going to roll my mouse up 1, and that's it. It's just going to round them ever so slightly so that we catch a little bit more light and looks a little bit more natural. So it's a very small detail anyhow that you know, like if I bring everything back in again, this is the underside of the USB. Keep that in mind. Let's get rid of these. Okay, so there's the book USB, and there's the cut. All right, now we're not quite done, so let's hide this and let's hide this. We need to select this face, Shift S, cursor to select it, and come out so that I can bring in a new object centered right there. We're going to create the little circuit panel that goes on the bottom of the USB there. So I'm going to go Shift A, I'm going to bring in a cube, scale it in the Z, and I want it to, well, it's going to be quite thin. All right, scale it in the X, and it does go approximately to the wall, so I'll just bring it to there. That's fine. I'm going to pull this down, but scale it in Z a little bit thinner. And now let's have a look at the length. Yeah, the length is messed up. So I'm going to pull it up to almost to the front, but not exactly to the front, like right around there. And I think I'll come into it, and in face select mode, I'll just pull it to the inside like that. No one's going to see way to the very back. Let's come out and have a look at that. Okay, it's a little hard to see, so by beveling this, at least these edges, it'll be a little bit easier to see. But that's essentially what it's going to be like. That might be thick, but that's fine. This is cartoony. Let's do Object, Apply Scale. See the flip in the color there? So gotta do that, and then select it, Control N, and now it's all initialized and ready to go. Let's select just those front edges, Control B, pull back, and add maybe 2 segments. I'll pull back a little bit more, not too much though. And that'll create a little bit of a curvature, so make it a bit more pleasing to look at. Let's select both of them and join them together, and that piece is essentially done. Let's bring back everything, but let's hide this piece. Okay, so that's what that would look like. We're actually going to be bringing this piece back, because I want to see this is going to fit into that piece there, and so there has to be a hole. How big is that hole going to be? Well, it's going to be a little bit bigger than this USB. So let me hide that again. A good way to do this, I have found, I believe anyhow, is to find, let's go back in Animo, to find some of this that goes all the way around like that, to find an edge that goes all the way around and use this for the shape of the hole that we're about to make. So I'm gonna duplicate this. I don't want to steal it. Shift D to duplicate, P to make it its own new selection, and find it, click on it, move it away. All right, you're done. You go away, you go away. This is what I want. Let's origin to geometry. Let's edit this, select an F to make a face, and E to extrude, and just pull it out. Just make sure the polys are facing the right way. Let's come out of there. Let's unhide that. Okay, we're going to be using this to make a hole. Okay, in reality, we need this USB back. I can hide that for a moment because we want to look at the size. Now, this piece is actually smaller than the USB because I took it from, you know, an inner ring of the USB. So let's make this piece a bit bigger. Okay, because we're going to use it to carve a hole. So scale in the X. Okay, come out to there. Scale in the Z. You know, come out to there. There, good enough. That's going to make my hole now. Okay, thank you very much. You guys can go take the rest of the night off. Alt H. Okay, you are going to be used to make a hole. Now it's already got some curvature to it, so that's going to be great. Now, I might actually, though, lengthen it, scale it in the Y, you know, just to dig a little bit deeper into this book. So I'm just going to shove it in there, and we should be ready to go. Select my book, boolean difference, select my object, apply, and hide it. And there is my hole. But it's got very sharp edges here, so let's do something about that. Let's go into edit mode and edge selection. Let's try our best to select all the outside of this like that. And then Control B, pull back, and go 1, 2. All right, and now it's rounded, and it catches more light, so it's more pleasing to look at. Alt H to bring everything back. Let's hide this for a minute and just get a sense of what this would be like as it goes in. Okay, I'll deselect so you can see that the hole is there. All right, and the USB goes in the hole. Now, I would like to create a hole on this side as well. Let's hide this. Actually, I'll be bringing everything back, won't I? Let's just hide the book. I would like to make a hole here as well, so that it looks like this USB was built and sort of pushed into a hole and glued in or soldered in or whatever. So I'm going to get rid of this, and I'm going to take this. I'm just going to push in. I don't want to go all the way to the other side, like I don't want it coming through, just something like that. And I'm going to create a hole in this piece as well. So boolean difference, select this, and I should be done with this at this point. So there's my hole. Let's do the same beveling technique. Select the outer edge. Okay, yeah. Control B, pull back. I'll give it 2 segments. Good enough. And deselect, and I've got some roundness to that. I think I can reveal everything now. And now it looks like the USB is built to fit in there. All right, maybe that hole is a little bit big, but I don't think anyone's going to care, especially back here. It looks like that's the way it was built. Now, is that a good enough length for that USB? All right, that's good enough. All right, I'm now going to join these two things together. Control J, and that's basically how it would fit. All right. Now, there's one thing that I could have done, and I may or may not be able to do it at this point. We'll see. Let's hide this. Let's see if I can bevel this edge here. I'm just going to have a look. After making all those cuts, we may have some issues. Let's try. It looks like I can bevel that, whether you feel it needs it or not. I think it always needs it. I've joined those, and it might give me a bit of an issue. I can unjoin them, but we'll see. Let's give it a try. Control B. I think we got it. I think we got it. There, the line is very evident because of the beveling that these are two pieces, and they go like that. Now, another thing you can do if you want, select the book, in face select mode. Well, now that I got that cut there, I can still put edge loops right here. I'll make edge loops, and let's make sure I'm in medium point, scale it in Y. I'll just bring them in like that. You can do stuff like that. Actually, maybe I won't deselect them yet. I'll bring it up here. Face select mode. I'm going to select those faces, but maybe not the very top one, the very bottom one. Okay. And I will do extrude region. Pull down, and they'll get pushed out just a little bit. And then in edge select mode, I'm going to select that edge on the side and that edge on the side, and I'll bevel that. Control B. Just like that, and you know, it kind of gives the some design to the binding as well. I could try one on here. Control R, roll my mouse till I get 2. You know, let's say that's good enough width right there. All right, and come in face select mode. Face select mode. Select that whole thing, but I won't go for the top, very top one. Just an awkward position, or the very bottom one. Okay, extrude region. Oops, and pull to let they come out just a bit. Grab the edges and bevel them a bit. All right, so it looks a little bit more like a book. Put it together, something like that. Anyhow, you can decide if you need some kind of little clips or something, so that when the USB comes, you know, it kind of holds it together, or whether or not you want, you know, to bring in like a ring or something. Like, I mean, if you wanted, you could do this. Just do cursor select there. Let's just quickly do Shift A, mesh, or actually curve, circle. Let's just might be a bit big actually. Let's see. Go over to the curve panel and just start increasing the depth and resolution a little bit. Oh, choose full. You know, you could build yourself a little ring as if it's like a charm or something like that. How's that? Does that look any good there? I don't know if that's where it should be. You know, that kind of thing. I'm gonna get rid of that though. Get rid of that. You can put text on the book. I'll just quickly do it on here. My text, there it is. Baby's waking up, so it's gonna be time to do stuff. Kind of rushing through this because of that. 0.02, 0.01, 2, I don't know, something like that. Choose a font. May not have time to choose a good font. I don't have a good font anyhow. I'm just going to arbitrarily choose anything. All right. And as I did before, your C, make it a mesh, join it. It's a little bit big, but I really like the bubbly text type stuff, you know. And then, you know, once you're happy, smoothing, you can try. And if it is too crazy, you can adjust the auto smooth angle to maybe something like 12. And you can do the same on this, smooth, just auto smooth to maybe 12 or so. And if that gives you problems on the USB, you know, I don't know if you can see those weird things, you can do my trick, which works, but I don't know how well you can see that. If I switch over to another madcap, you'll see what I'm talking about. Where is it? That. All right. Okay, let's fix it. Face select mode. Select all of the polys involved. E, select or accept. Done. You're out. Okay. Just adds, and it. All right. I'm not staying in that. I'm coming back to this though. Actually, I should try that. No, I'll come back to this. Okay, let's assume that I was done at that point. Well, might as well grab another one here. Shift D, pull them out, and then have one in or close to in, and I think I'll join those together like that, and then I'll just rotate the Z. So I want this rotating the Y. I just want to get some kind of view that I like, you know, something like this. Let's see. All right, let's say you like that. You could save that USB image. Get out of here. Let's save that and shut down Blender. We'll do something like this. We'll just find it. Where is it? USB image. There it is. Okay, let's crop it a bit. Ah, 1.5, let's say. I'll go for more yellow and bump up the red. And maybe I'll do curves right now. Just drop it and spike it a little bit like that. Just get a weird kind of look. Where's artistic, cartoon? I'll try 3, probably too much. Oh, it's okay. It's the lines, it was very cartoony. I like that look. Right now I'm into that. What was the other thing I wanted to do? I wanted to try, oh, you could add this a little bit. Sparkle. Okay, that's something anyhow. Yeah, I want to try to, we could do this again. Let's see if we can do it on top of itself. Will it explode? Yeah, it'll give me that. That's a bit too much. Let's try lowering that and lowering this. Let's see if I can still get something decent, or if it's too much. If it's too much, I'm just gonna stick with that. Yeah, it's too much. It's kind of cute, but no, I'll just stick with that. I'll overwrite that. Okay, and this is what we got in the end. There's our image. There's our USB. Cool. Thanks for watching.